Hi everyone, welcome back to Lucy Just Adds Colour. So I promised that we would colour in this book and we are going to do so. Now I had chosen a butterfly page, but a couple of people actually pointed out to me, could we do a page that was more in Kanoko Egusa's style? And I have to agree with you, the picture I had chosen when I did my TBC video was probably a chicken's way out of colouring in this book, because I'm scared. So in case you didn't know, the conversion, or the translation I should say, of this book is Rhapsody in the Forest by Kanoko Egusa. A wonderful, wonderful artist. And you'll see by the front cover, it's just adorable. So I also promised that we would be colouring using Prismas, and Prismas we are going to use. I'm going to use a little bit of ink, but don't worry if you haven't got it. I've got so many combinations of green coming in this picture that you'll be able to do those parts with the combinations that I give you. So, are you ready? So I didn't choose the butterfly page. I in fact chose this one. So it is quite an in-depth picture. Excuse me, nerves kicking in, see already. It is quite an in-depth picture and it looks really scary, but I have been practicing. I photocopied it and I've practiced bits on it, and I think we can do this. I think we can. So Prismacolors I'm using, and then I've got my little dewdrop, these ones are, or Versa ink dewdrops they are, the little dewdrop memento inks. This one is Pear Tart, and then I've got this one which is inky, as you can see. It is Bamboo Leaves, and these are on Amazon. So, but a little trick that I've learned. Do you remember these that I brought in a haul? They were like a bag full. Ages and ages ago I got them for blending chalk. And they're as cheap as chips, as they say. But actually for really fine detail work, they worked with the inks. So we're going to try that. And for these trees in the background, they are going to give us the texture that I want. Well, they're going to give us a little bit of texture anyway. And then we can use Prismas to smooth over. So if you're a bit concerned that you don't have the ink, so you won't be able to follow along, please don't worry, because like I say, the colours we'll be using should help us. So, are we ready? Oh God. Okay. What we are going to do is, I'm going to go and clear my desk up. Now you know the page. I'm going to clear my desk up just for 2 minutes. I've got so much going on. Then we're going to come in and we're going to start inking these bushes and the bits in between the beautiful tulips. Alright, lovely people, give me 2 seconds. Okay, a little bit more organised. I've taken the cover off because it's really slippy and awkward to work with and I don't want to mess it up. So, we are going to take our Versa Magic. It's not Versa Magic, this one is Dewdrop Memento, and this is Pear Tart. We're going to take that on one of our little makeup brushes, and we are going to take the other colour that I showed you, which is Bamboo Leaves. So if I bring you in and then tip you a little bit, I do apologise, sorry, it's my space, my desk. If I don't do this in the right position, it's going to be horrendous. I've been practising, so I'm inky already. So we're going to go in with our darkest colour, which is the Bamboo Leaves, and I'm just putting that, dabbing it on the ink is what I'm trying to say. And we're going to start with this little patch up here, so I'm going to try and be really brave. Okay, so I'm just really lightly, I'm going to go in and just put little dabs of colour on, and you can smooth this over, you'll see in a minute when I do put the pear over it. We'll use the pear colour to blend. Okay, so I've put the darkest bit in the corner, and we're going to take Pear. This is a beautiful colour, I love this colour, and I'm dabbing that on. And then we're going to do the same with pear. And then I'm just in tiny little circular motions on this part. I'm just going to dab that in. So this should give us a little bit of texture and help to smush those colours together. And then this way we can get into those little tiny spaces and get the ink in there, is what I'm trying to say. I've got a big blodge there. Why does that always happen? I've practiced and it all went fine, and then as soon as I turn the camera on, I've got my first mistake. Anyway, we can fix that. I'm going to let it dry. I'm not going to play with it too much. So we are going to do, let's just do that again, because this is all the same bush by the look of it, behind the church. So I'm going to come in here. The lighter you are, the easier it will be to sort of blend this out. So I'm just putting my little dabs of colour in. And then we've got another bit just here of the same bush. We'll do it along the bottom there. And I'm only using this for the trees just because it will give us that a little bit of interest with texture. And it's good fun. So, talk about throwing yourself, what do they say, out of the frying pan into the fire. You know, scared of a book, and so what do? I experiment with inks on it. We're just gonna... But I have got pencils that will help to smooth all this over, and it looks quite good. So you just have to trust me on this one. We're going to go over to this little bit and do that. The trouble is my hands are so shaky, so I end up sort of dabbing it really hard when I don't want to. But this is not the focal point of our picture as well, remember. So this is just background. But I think it looks quite effective. And then I've got just two colours that we'll use with the Prismas to blend all these over. So we're going to do the other bushes just the same. So I'm taking the bamboo leaves, dipping it, and then we are going to be really careful around our tulip. Up here. So if you ever wanted to ink and it puts you off, this is would be a really good way. If you've got a book with trees in it and you want to practice, this would be a really good way of helping you do that. So I'm going to leave like a little bit of a white halo, steering away from the things I don't want colour on. I'll just put a little bit of interest in here. It's not all one colour. More in there. And then we're going to take the pear tart and we're going to come in with that. Yeah, so should just give you that little bit of practice that you might want with inks. And I've got some distress inks coming. I'm so excited. And I think what I'm thinking that we might do actually, folks, is swatch them on the channel, because how are you supposed to know what colours they are if they're not swatched? I love swatching, so it's any excuse for me. But I think I will have collected all of them in mini inks, just the mini inks. I've got some large ones that I got second hand. And then I've been collecting the new ones so that we can do those together. So, and then what I'm going to do make sure I've got enough ink on there. And then I'm going to take a clean one, and just a plain clean one, and see if I can't blend that better, that blotchy bit. I might not be able to, but... And I could always dampen off the little sponge. In fact, we could do that. Where's my water? Here. So I'm going to squirt a tiny bit of water in my hand. So I've just got the tiniest bit. I don't even know if you'll pick up on that. And then I'm just going to, like, on the sort of, just dampen that sponge, not soak it. But here, where it's really dark, I'm wondering if we can pick some ink up. Not really. And I don't want to ruin the paper. But that's okay. We can go in with our pencil colours and it will look a whole lot better. So we've just got that one little tree left. So I'm hoping that we don't need any more ink. I'm just going to plop that in. Plop it in, folks. And we're going to hope for the best. But I think it just gives a good, because there's a lot of greenery on this page. It will give us that nice bit of texture. Okay, back in with the pear. Love this colour. I've got a sheet underneath. Plastic sheet. I'm just gonna do a little bit of blending. I can go back in with that green, that darker green, and help that along. Let's just take that darker one and just put some more in there. Just so it looks like it's meant to be there and it's not just been thrown at the page. A bit more. So we can always put a tiny bit on the, you know, the tip of it. Not too much. Just test that on a bit of, just tested it on a bit of scrap paper. There we go. And then just using the tip, I'm just sort of pouncing it on there. What do you think? I think, actually, that that's a really cool effect. Okay. I'm not happy with that one. That's annoyed me. Oh, smudging. That was with the reverse side that's got nothing on it. So... And these will lift if you put some water on it. So I'm just going to dampen my hand again like I showed you and pick up a small amount of water. I don't want too much because otherwise we're going to get a... And then I'm just going to blend. Just going to push that about a bit. That's just with a little damp one, so I've got a little bit coming off, but not much. But it should help with getting rid of some of those darker patches that I've managed to fluff up. I'm putting that pear one back over that. Alright, so let's just move these out of the way with their little sticks. We're going to have to let that dry before I can introduce the pencils. So, shall we have a look at, before we do any more inking, let's have a look. I still have tidied my desk up. Now what's happened? Here it is. Can you hear all that practice paper that I've got? Okay, so let's have a look at this little picket fence while we're waiting for this to dry. There's a nice bit without having to move the page too much. Okay, there's a nice bit. So I've got 3 colours, and they're quite interesting colours, but they work just for a bit of difference for wood. So I've got sand, beige sienna and burnt ochre. So that's 940, 1080 and 943. Okay, so I'm going to take the sand, taking sand, and I'm going to lightly, let's do this bit first. I'm going to lightly put the sand in. This paper's magic. Okay, put the sand in. Then I am going to take beige sienna. Of course it won't pick it up unless I cover everything else up. Beige sienna. And then we're going to bring that in. I'm doing this really lightly so that we can go back in. And then we're going to take the burnt ochre, which is a gorgeous reddy brown colour. I'm just going to give it a turn in the sharpener so I've got a nice point. Alright, and then we're going to introduce that in. See where the lines are? That's where I'm putting those. The burnt ochre. I just thought it would give us a nice... I always tend to use the same colours, you know, the umbers for wood. But when I tried this, I was actually quite impressed with how well it works together. So then we can go back in, take our burnt ochre. Is it ochre? Yeah, burnt ochre. Just put that in where those lines are, and then come out with our beige sienna. There. So there's a little bit down the bottom there. So I'm going to do a little coat of the sand. Then the burnt ochre. And then the beige sienna. And then we use that sand to blend it in. And it just gives us a really, I don't know, I'm going to say it folks, a woody effect. I like it. I've sort of weathered, so it hasn't been there for a million years. Should we do another one together? Let's do this one. So sand. This is going to be a long video, people. This is not going to be a quick fix video. I think we're probably going to have to do this in 2 parts if you're willing to come along for the ride. Okay, sand. Then we're going to put in our burnt ochre. And then our beige sienna. That beige sienna really tones down the red in the ochre. And actually, I'm thinking it would be a marvellous skin combination. Not the sand obviously, but the ochre and the beige sienna. Yeah. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone in my last video at the end of my video, and sometimes I do it quite a lot just to see what's going on. I asked if you were still watching, could you let me know? And I had a few people said I'm still here. It was really lovely. It was really lovely to know that people had watched it all the way through, because it really helps your channel with the analytics that YouTube have. So thank you so much to all you lovely loyal people out there that are listening to me waffle on forever and a day. Okay. No, we don't have a bottom bit. Okay, so that basically is how I'm going to do the fence. I think that you'll be okay with that, because it's all you're doing is following the lines. Let me put the combination up there. Now, if we look at, what did I use? Yes, it was this combination. If we look at where we've inked, that's dry. I'm going to use two colours to help smooth that over. I'm going to have to hold this one. I've got a little stubby one of this is lime peel. So I've got olive green. If I stop waving it about in the camera, you might be able to see. Olive green, which is PC 911, and lime peel 1005. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't make anybody feel sick. So I'm taking the olive green and really, really lightly I'm going to fill in any gaps that we didn't get. Just incredibly lightly. So all the way up round the top of the church. Like this. And then I'm taking the lime peel, my little stubby one. And this works beautifully over this. And then I'm going to bring that out. I'm not coming right to the edge because I want to keep that beautiful pale shade that we've got. And then just run that through. Okay. Hands are shaking. There. Okay, let's do this one. So, doing it as light as I possibly can. This is where we can put in a little bit more of that shading and a bit more definition to the page. It will take out any of those little swirls that we've got, and then use the lime peel to blend over. But it will just fill up any of those little gaps. And then we can put a few little bits coming out into that, just little swirls with our oh, you can't see. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, let me come out slightly. I do apologise. We can do it here. I'm so sorry. Okay, so that's how it looked with just minimal pencil work. So I am. That's awful. I do apologise. That's so frustrating, I know, when you're watching a video. So I'm just kind of following those swirls that we put in and bringing it out in our, what colour is this? Olive green. I'm so I can't understand how I did that because I get so paranoid about you not being able to see. There we go. And then our lime peel. And it's just really lightly. I'm hardly touching the page with either colour. And all I'm doing is using this to just fill in any gaps that I wasn't brave enough to fill in. And it really adds to the effect of the tree. And I now look like a professional inker. We'll come over here and we'll do this one as well because I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm literally hardly touching the page. But this one is behind the church. And it's behind this one. And we've got it behind this building too. And then I'm just going to bring some little swirls in. There we go. And then we'll come in with our lime peel. I am sorry about that, folks. I hate it when that happens. So if you've only got Prismas and you don't have inks, there's your two colours. And as you can see, there's hardly any difference between the inks I've used and these colours I've chosen. So don't be put off that, oh, I can't follow it because I don't have those colours. Right, we're going to have to put some down in between here as well. And that flower is not going to cast shade on that tree because it's not. It's much more in the foreground. So I'm just kind of messily putting in, if that's a word, messily, it is now, folks. Yeah, kind of messily putting in that marine green, no, olive green, and then using the lime peel over the top. Isn't that an awesome combination? So, really gently. The Prismas do seem to like this paper. Mind you, is there a paper that they don't like? There are. It likes Amazon paper, I know that from our last colour along. I'm dying to get into my luminance and give those a go. So we'll do this one. It's behind that bush. Yeah, I'm dying to play with those. I have, we've swatched them, haven't we? So, and I put them in a case with my light fasts. And I changed the case that I was using from the one I showed you when I was swatching to a different one because I couldn't get the pencils out of it. I don't know if it's just my hands not working properly, but I really struggled and it was like pulling the paint off the pencils. I thought, no, can't have this. Can't have my babies looking scruffy, that just won't do. So they went in a new case. There we go. I'll just do this one, just for the sheer hell of it. Why not? I'm just kind of bringing that olive green out. So we don't lose that effect. I don't want to lose that texture that we'd put in the tree. So I'm literally just using this to fill in any spaces that we might have missed and to give us a bit more shadow. You know, the little teeny tiny spaces that we couldn't get to. I hope you like the idea. Personally, I think I'm a bit of a genius. No, I'm joking. They were sat on my desk. I pulled something out of my drawer and they were sat on my desk and I thought, oh, when I was practicing this page. I thought, I wonder if they work with inks. And they do. There. It's a bit scruffy, so we're going to fill that in a bit more. Oh, I hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. Glorious, glorious sunshine here in the UK, not set to last. Supposed to have thunderstorms tomorrow, I think. But there, I like that. I'm really pleased with that. Okay, let me come out as usual. Let's come out and have a look. So this is your distance shot. This is not when you're looking close up at the little swirls that were there. And in fact, I think that with the pencil over the top, that adds such a good effect. So I've tried to leave the top of the bushes lighter to indicate that we've got light coming down. So I hope you like that. I am going to go off and finish the bush and do the picket fence, and then we'll come back. Like I say, this is going to be at least 2-part video because there is so many elements to this picture. So I will meet you back here in a second. Okay folks, so I've finished the little bushes apart from that bit, I've just noticed I haven't done, and the picket fence, and I brought those colours down into the grass. Just used less of the darker green that we'd used. So I want to do the sky, and this is a really simple process, and I've got 2 of my little dewdrop inks here, 2 colours. I will bring them up to the camera and block everything else out and hope that they will focus for us. There we go. So they're Versa Magics, again by Dewdrop. This one is Sea Breeze and this one is Aspen Mist. And they're kind of just gorgeous blues. This Sea Breeze is lovely soft blue. And then this one is even softer with a hint of grey. And they're just gorgeous. So I've shown these before on my channel, and these they're for die cutting, so for embossing and stencils, I believe. Don't quote me, but I saw them and thought they would be awesome for clouds, and they work really well, and we have used them on the channel before. So I'm going to use this one, and you could literally just pop those off. I will try and put a link in below for these if I can find them again. So you just sort of place it on the page where you think it'd look good. Let's go for that so it's not so uniform. And then I've got my 2 little pads ready. So I've got the Sea Breeze on this one and the Aspen Mist on this one. So I'm going to take the Sea Breeze and I'm going to move that because I don't want to be that close to the... I'm going to rub it over the edge like this. Let's come in a little bit. There we go. I don't want to come in too close and lose you again. So I'm just going to rub it over the top of this stencil here. Just being careful around that church. Okay. And then I'm just going to take the Aspen Mist one and bring that up. And it will just soften that out into the white. And you wait. Oh, it's such a cool effect. I absolutely love it. Let's take the other one and we're going to put a little one down in here. That's probably... We'll just put a little one like this above those... above those trees. Okay, we can do the same. Take the Sea Breeze and bring that up. And you can use as little or as much as you like to change the effect. So I'm not putting as much sea breeze in, I'm just bringing that aspen mist up a little bit. So just so we get a bit of variation. Okay, we need some more here. So I might use this bit where it like dips here. Let's turn that. Let's try that. So I'm going in with the sea breeze. It's a bit more tricky because let's good up this corner, and then we'll bring in the aspen mist and bring that out. Now what I did was inked these up first and then kind of took some of the ink off so that it was not going to leave round patches. There we are, got a nice finger mark there. Never mind. And then we need this side. So let's choose one that we haven't used. Let's kind of go with the flow here, shall we? What do you think? Let's tilt that so it kind of meets up with that one. Right, in with our bright blue, which is the sea breeze. That'll be nice over the top of those hills. And then the aspen mist, just to soften that out into nothingness. There we go. And we could just put a little soft bit down here. Let's just try a little one down here. I don't want too much, but equally I don't want it to look odd. So I'm just going to put a little bit down here, a softer one, and then back in with that blender. I love this. I love it. I just think it looks so clever and it's so easy. So we're going to put another one. We're going to put a little bit here. It's a bit more tricky because I don't want to, can you see? I don't want to get any on the bird. A little bit there. A little bit of our second colour there. And we'll go for a roundy, we'll go for a round one here. We can bring that up to meet that one. That's okay, soften that out. There we go. And we've got one sky. Simple as that. As simple as that. It's easy peasy, folks. A really, really simple and quick, effective way. I will see if I can link this down below. I know I've linked it in another video, so I will try and find that. Oh, look, there's a little bit down there. Is that... I think that looks like it might be tree, so in there. I'll have to fill that in off camera. Do you see? That bit in there behind the houses. I'll fill it in off camera, just as I've put all the greens away. Right, while we let the sky dry, shall we have a look at some of these tulips? Let me get my practice page out. And a drink of water, because it's nerve-wracking. It is nerve-wracking doing this page. Okay, right. Now, I'm going to do these in a mixture of red tulips and yellow tulips and just randomly scatter them. So, I've got quite a few colours, but like we've done this before where we've used a lot of colours, and just trust me and come with me. It's easy. Okay, I'm going to hold them up. These are in from darkest to lightest order. So we've got Crimson Lake 925, Poppy Red 922, Pale Vermilion 921, Spanish Orange 1003, and then our beautiful sand again, which is 940, I do believe. So I'm going to take sand, and we're going to come in a little closer. Yeah, let's come in, and we're going to look at this tulip here, right here. So I'm just going to sharpen my sand just for a minute, because it helps me keep pressure off the page, so I'm not pressing hard. Okay, so with the sand, I'm going to put that in the places where the edges of the petal are, and it will stop me going too heavy-handed and getting coming in too dark with the reds and oranges that we're going to use. So I'm putting those on the outside edges of the petal, this sand, and we're going to hope for the best, people. Okay, right, now I'm going to go in, I'm going to sharpen this one too. Alright, I'm going to start from darkest to lightest, and we'll build up from there. Okay, so we've got our lovely sand edge. I don't know if you can pick up on that, but I'm going to now use Crimson Lake, and right down at the bottom here, and this is just our kind of guide. I'm going to put the Crimson Lake in, so I'm not going to press hard, and where the petals join, we're going to put the Crimson Lake in there, and this is just our first layer, it just kind of so we know what we're doing. So whenever there's a petal underneath, I'm going in with Crimson Lake. So here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Okay, Crimson Lake. Then we're going to go in with our next colour, which is Poppy Red. I love this red. Okay, and we're going to start to bring that up. So we're going over our crimson, and we're going to come up. We're going to find all the places that we put that dark red, and we're going to add that poppy red to it. This is why I said it's going to be a long video. I'm going to put some in there too. Okay, then we're taking pale vermilion, and we're going to build that colour up. Going to go over our poppy red and come up with that, and then back over the places that we'd put the dark bits. And because we're going light enough, if we make a mistake it doesn't matter. I'm going to fill that top up with this pale vermilion. If we make a mistake we should be able to erase it, so there's no real issues. Alright, then we're going to go in with Spanish orange, and we're going to go over that, and we're going to come up to meet that sand, but we're leaving that sand very visible. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to go back in. Now we've got a map of where we're going, and we are going to deepen that up. So I want our Crimson Lake at the bottom. Can kind of put a little bit of detail in. Like so. Around here, we're going to deepen up that bit for sure. And in there. Bit in there. Okay, make sure that's nice and dark at the base. And then take our poppy red and start to go over that and build that up. Again, I'm still not pressing hard because I want to make sure I've got it right. I'm coming making sure I've got some, I've just done it pale enough on the edge of the line so that our next colour will blend in. Okay, then we've got pale vermilion. And we're going to go over all of that and bring pale vermilion up. And it should, hopefully she says, start to look like a tulip. Pale vermilion, then we're going in with Spanish orange. That's around our edge, and that's going to bring us into our beautiful sand colour. Okay, then we're going to take sand, and we're going to put that in. And make sure all those little edges that we were talking about have got that nice sand colour on them. Alright, now I'm going to go back in with the Crimson Lake and just darken up some of these areas. And that will help to bring out those paler colours. So, what do you think? One red. We might need to come up a little bit with the poppy red. It's looking too yellow. And then just go back through the colours. I might need to bring it up a little bit here. There we go. That's better. Just kind of playing with it until you feel happy. It's your colouring book. And I really like that. So I'm probably not going to play with that one anymore. But then I'm going to want I want yellow ones, so I've got these colours, and I brought in, what did I say I did? The two medium oranges. It's not that one. I think it was these two. So we'll swap these out. I think it was those two. Two medium oranges. No, I'm being dim. Bear with me. Okay. So, for our yellow poppy, we've got quite a few colours again, but as you've just seen, it's not difficult. It's just taking it one step at a time. So, I'll try and hold these all up so you can see them all in one go. Okay. So, pale vermilion, which we've just used, 921. Spanish orange, which we've just used, 1003. Sunburst yellow, 917, goldenrod, 1043, and canary yellow, 916. And I think actually we'll use sand as well. So we'll use our sand. So if we take sand again and we pick out again those areas that we want lightest, and we'll put that round the edge. Just to stop things getting too dark again. Okay, so that was sand. Now, just trying to think how to do this, how best to do it, because I played with the yellows before. I'm just sharpening my pencil. Okay, now it's making me nervous. Okay, I think I'm going to start with the, let's do the darkest, let's do it as I know it, pale vermilion. Let's start with that. So I'm going to come in at the bottom, but really, really lightly. And we're going to define those places again, like we did before, where the petals cross over. So we might need a bit of darker colour. Now this is not going to be our predominant colour. Our predominant colour is yellow. But I'm just using this as a sort of... What am I using it for? A bit of definition. Just so we've got a different poppy. So I'm sorry, we're using goldenrod now. And where we put in that what did I say it was? Pale vermilion, we're going over with goldenrod. And like we did with the last one, we'll go back over it. Okay, goldenrod. Then I've got Spanish orange. We're going to put that in. Going over what we've already coloured. Giving ourselves room to put the rest of the colours in. Okay. Then we've got, what else have we got? So we've now got the yellows. So sunburst yellow. I know there's a lot of colours, and you don't need to use all these colours if you don't want to, but it was just while I was playing and practising for the video, these were the colours that I wanted to throw in. I just didn't want it to look flat yellow, and it was hard actually to get it to look yellow without adding other things. So this one's canary yellow. This is our really bright one, and I'm going to go over all that, but not up to that cream, leaving that space for that cream still. And then we'll go back over it all and start again. Alright, so back in with pale vermilion, and we'll darken that up. Make sure we get that at the base. So we've kind of got it in reverse. So we've got a lovely red tulip, and now we've got a yellow and red tulip, but the red is not prominent, or orange, whatever. And they'll just work together well on the page. So just deepening up any of those areas we know. That. Okay, then goldenrod, which will dampen down that brightness, but give us that illusion that the petals are behind each other. I hope that makes sense. Then Spanish orange. Okay. Then sunburst yellow, and I'm going back over everything else so they're all blending in together. And then our beautiful canary yellow, which is what brightens the whole thing up. And then if you want to add the cream back in, it's a bit darker than the canary yellow, so just bear that in mind. And then I'm going to go back in with canary yellow. There we are. And I am actually thinking that I might take a tiny bit of poppy red, and we're going to feed that in. Just super gently. Just in our deepest areas. Then we can blend that out with that pale vermilion. What do you think? I'm quite pleased with how that looks. I hope you like it. And then I'm going to go back in with our canary yellow. And I'm really kind of, still very lightly, but I'm just smushing that all in. Take off that. There. What do you think? I think it looks cool. I'm still playing, but so I'm going to fill this field with poppies. I'm just putting those back in order because I'll freak out once the camera goes off and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to fill this field with poppies. I'm going to probably try and keep the red ones to the back and bring the yellow forward, if that makes sense. Or I might just scatter them randomly. I'm not sure at the minute. But no, I think I'm probably just going to scatter them randomly. I think it will look better. Okay, leaves. Now we've got a lot of green on here, so this was quite a difficult job to get. Hang on, I've got to make sure I've got the right one. No, I haven't. That's the wrong one. That's for a different thing. Here they are. Good job I wrote them down, wasn't it? Right, 3 colours you'll be relieved to know. And they are Marine Green 988, Celadon Green 1020, and this very pale one, if you can pick it up, Pale Sage 1089. Alright, so this is going to be for our leaves. Oh my goodness. I couldn't get my words out. Okay, so we are going to take the darkest one, which is Marine Green, and we're going to start at the bottom here. And again, I'm doing it lightly to start with. I'm coming up the centre, and I'm using the lines that we've been given for shade. Put a bit more in there. And then I'm going in with Celadon Green, and then we're going to merge those two together. We're going to come out towards the edge. And then on that edge, just the tiniest touch of Pale Sage is going on that edge. Like that. So let's go back in now. And we'll deepen that colour up. Okay, and we're going to put in the Celadon. I'm going over that, what did we say it was? Marine Green. Yeah, Marine Green. And I'm going to merge that into that on this side because it's the lightest. This one's behind a plant stem. There. And again, I'll repeat that until I've got the depth of colour that I want. So again, all I do is I'm just going to follow the lines that we've been given. Using the darkest tones for that. And then we'll bring in Celadon green works really well together. And then a little bit of sage on that edge. And let's just go over the whole thing with the sage. And you can now see them start to come together. And then we'll go back in and put our marine green back in to deepen that all up. I'm just going lightly over there. This side's a bit darker, so there. That looks hideous on camera. It looks a bit stark, doesn't it, at the moment, without the rest of the greens and things done, but it won't. I think it'll look really nice. Should we just do another one quickly together? Should we do this little, if I tip you slightly? You don't want to see my pyjamas, that would be a shock. Okay, so marine green in the darkest spots. I'm just doing it lightly. Around there. And then our celadon green. Put that in there. Then our pale sage. Bring that all together. So I needed something very different from the greens that we'd already put down, so this seemed to work. I quite like the combination. Then celadon. And then just to lessen the bluey side of that celadon, we will really lightly go over with our marine green. It just gives us a different tone. There. Alright, that's quite a lot to be going on with. So, let's come out and have a look. Oh, that's in. Okay, I'll try and get it all in. There we go. And our clouds. All my combinations laid out, because I'll freak out and have to watch the video again if I don't. So I think once the leaves look quite dark now, don't they, in comparison to the rest of the page, but I think once we've filled this with these bright red and yellowish, got it wrong, tulips, I think the page is going to look fabulous. So what I will do is finish the leaves. I'm not going to touch the stalks because I've got a different combination for them, and I think that would work better. So I'm going to finish the tulips and the leaves, and then we'll meet back up. That way it keeps the video time down, and we might be able to get it all in one video, but I doubt it. I'll see you in a second. Right, so I finished the mammoth task of the tulips and the leaves. And I think what we'll do is the stems of the tulips, and we'll call it a night, just because I don't want the video to be too long, and if I rush it I'm just going to spoil it, and I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I'm just shifting my book around so that I can bring the camera in. So I changed the colours that I'm going to use just for the stems. just for a bit of variation on the page, otherwise we're going to have too many same greens. So if I bring you in, very, very simple. We've got 3 colours. Our darkest being, oh I do apologise, kelp green. Then I've got Kelly green, and then a little bit of chartreuse. So if I bring these up so that you can see the numbers. So PC 1090, PC 196 and PC 989, and they are kelp green, Kelly green and chartreuse. Okay, right. So it's now Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. And we're using the kelp green. And I'm going to pick a side to go up, and I'm going to go up this one. I'm going to cover those dots, or lines even. Yeah, so it's now Wednesday, so it should give you an idea of how long it's taken me. A long time to get to this point. And then what I'll do is continue colouring later on to, sorry, and then I'm using Kelly green. Continue colouring, we'll get the next one up in the next couple of days. Going over that, and then I'm taking chartreuse, and just to brighten up the whole thing, I'm going over that, just for a little bit of variation in our page. Back in with the Kelly green, and then back in with the kelp green just on that edge. Okay. Should we do another one? Let's do this one here, and I'll bring you in a bit closer. There we go. So, it's a good shot. Okay, so kelp green, and I'm going to run it where those lines are, and then I'm going to bring it up this edge. Then I'm going to take the Kelly green, and we're going to run it up over that. I'm going to leave a little bit of an edge, and then I'm going to go over with chartreuse. So it should just help to define it and lift it away from the leaves so they're not so similar, using that chartreuse over the top. So I'm going back in with the Kelly green, kelp green, and then in with the Kelly green, and then just chartreuse again. Alright, so that's how I'm going to do the flower stems. Now let me know what you think. Up here, where are we? Is this... I'm thinking it might be a mountain. Do you think it's a mountain, or do you think it's... yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking anyway. But let me know what you think. Okay, so let's come back out. So I'm really, really pleased with how this page is working for us. Considering I have not touched the book since that page when I was an early colourist. I'm really pleased and happy with how it's coming out. So I hope you like it. I will continue off camera to finish off the stems so that we're ready for the next video, and the next video we will do all the remaining components on the page. Alright my lovely people, thank you so much for watching and sticking with me. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you to everybody that said let's do it, because it always forces me out of my comfort zone, and I'm always glad that we've done it. Alright. So I'll carry on filming, I'll get it up to you as soon as possible, and I've got some amazing, amazing gifts that people have sent me. I just can't believe it, so I'll show those, and then I've been tagged as well, so we've got quite a few videos coming up, so I'll try and get as many out as I can as quickly as possible. Alright folks, so until I see you in the next couple of days, take really good care of yourselves. Night night.